So we provide some information here on the armed robbery and the homicide at Citgo. On January 13th at 10:44 p.m., the Waukesha Police Department Dispatch Center received a 911 call from the Citgo gas station located at 1445 White Rock Avenue. The caller was unable to speak with dispatchers to communicate the reason for the call. Squads responded and found the caller with a significant injury. The caller was later identified as the gas station clerk. The responding officers began life-saving measures until the Waukesha Fire Department arrived and continued those efforts while on scene. The Waukesha Fire Department transported the victim to the Waukesha Memorial Hospital, where he was pronounced dead a short while later. The victim was identified as 65-year-old Saeed A. Sharwani of Brookfield. No suspects are in custody at this time. Based on store video, the two subjects entered the store with Halloween masks on, and one produced a handgun. The clerk confronted the armed subject, and the subject shot the clerk before the two suspects fled on foot. At this point, we are unable to confirm whether the suspects fled in the vehicle. The first suspect was a male black, medium build, wearing a tan jacket with a hood. His face was covered with a green Halloween mask. He had on checkered pajama-type pants, blue surgical glove on one hand, and a black glove on the other hand. He was wearing bright white tennis shoes, and he displayed a black semi-automatic handgun. Suspect number two was a male of unknown race, taller, with thin build. His face was covered also with a green Halloween mask. He was wearing mostly all black clothing. He entered the store behind suspect number one and remained in the background. In recent weeks, there have been several robberies in southeastern Wisconsin involving two suspects. We are looking into the possibility of any connection to these robberies. The suspects and the method of operation are similar in nature to the other robberies. It is early in the investigation, but we are using every available resource to identify and arrest the subjects in this case. If anyone is able to identify the suspect or suspects in this case, do not approach them, or they are believed to be armed and dangerous. With that, we ask anyone with information, please contact the Waukesha Police Department, and specifically Detective Benitez at 262-524-3926. Again, 524-3926. That's the information I have for you today, but I'm happy to entertain a few questions. But keep in mind, it's very early in the investigation, and there'll be details that we're obviously not able to release today.
Can you spell the victim's name, please?
Yes. It is spelled, first name is spelled S-A-E-E-D, middle initial A. Last name spelling is S-H-A-R-W-A-N-I.
Chief, did they escape with anything? Did they take anything from the store, money?
We're still looking to exactly what the suspects fled with as far as evidence.
But they did take something?
We believe they took some, but we're still looking into the exact nature of the material that they were able to gain.
A number of residents we spoke with said that they've seen cops patrolling the area, police officers, and they said that there have been some robberies, but how would you characterize this neighborhood, this gas station? Has anything like this happened before?
I don't have the history at this specific gas station. Obviously, that's a very busy intersection, so you're going to see a lot of traffic through the area, including law enforcement traffic through the area. It's a very good residential for the most part on one side, and it does have some businesses on the other, and it's in very close proximity to Frame Park in the city of Waukesha.
When we were out there this morning, a lot of yellow triangles, indicate, were they marking bullet casings, and was the shooting outside of the store or inside?
Again, I can't get into all the details of the exact investigation, because it's early on, and we'd like to provide as much information in a very timely fashion. That's why we're standing here today. But to answer your question about the evidence markers, yes, those are designed to mark evidence. Not just cases, they mark all evidence.
And how come not alert, was there any reason not to alert the public that the suspects were still out there? Or what was kind of the reasoning to wait till now?
I don't have any information right now, as I stand here in front of you today, or this time of morning, what kind of alerts we did last night. But generally, we wait until this time of day to release this much information, until we gather at least some of the facts of the incident, so we're able to put out an intelligible press release to you.
Did the clerk fight back at all? Did he have a gun at the store or anything that he maybe tried to
Again,
defend himself?
those are very specific questions, and we're not gonna have this early.
And you said Halloween masks?
Yeah.
Was that just a ski mask?
And we're gonna release the photos to you. I don't know if Captain Ramus covered that earlier with you. We're gonna release the actual photos to you and to the public, and so that we can have your assistance and the public's assistance in apprehending these suspects. So you'll see it exactly what it looks like.
Can you tell us?
It was a green, yes, mask, yeah. It's hard to describe. It was a green Halloween mask that covered the majority of his face.
So not just like a ski mask, it
Correct.
was like a character on it or something.
It's hard to describe. A picture's worth 1,000 words. You'll see it in just a few minutes and take the exact picture of it.
Can you tell us where the victim was shot? You say he was having trouble talking on the phone. Is that he was shot near the head or other parts of his body?
The victim was shot in his chest.
Was it behind the desk, or did he come out?
A little bit too detailed at this time.
How many shots?
Again, too many details right now. This is very early in the investigation to determine the number of shots and the exact location.
Shot by one suspect or both of them? Did they each have a gun?
We believe he was shot by one suspect. The information we have at this time, we believe he was shot by one of the suspects.
And was that the clerk's car out front? Whose car did that belong to out in the parking lot?
I don't know the car you're referring to right now, but I don't have that information right now.
There was just a gray Honda, I believe, that was out front in the parking lot, and I had video of cops looking at it, processing it, didn't know if that actually belonged to the store clerk or.
It's not believed to be related to the suspects. We're confirming the rest of the details.
Not related to the suspect. And
It's possible if the clerks were,
Okay.
I'm not able to confirm that right now as I stand here.
Any idea why this, it is a very high traffic area, any idea if this was targeted or if,
This
any-
particular gas station?
Yeah.
We don't have any information that this particular gas station was targeted amongst the numerous gas stations we have in the city of Waukesha.
You mentioned you were trying to tie the suspects possibly to other robberies. Were these masks seen before, or is that too early in the investigation?
Your latter part is correct, but I can tell you that there are similarities between the other armed robberies in southeastern Wisconsin and our armed robbery. And we're working very closely with the other agencies that are involved in the other robberies in southeastern Wisconsin. And one of the agencies was even on scene last night, so we're following up with all leads, and we're working very cooperatively with other agencies to gain evidence in our armed robbery and their robberies also.
What was that agency that was there last night?
I'm not able to release the agencies right now.
When you say armed robberies across southeastern Wisconsin, are we talking about armed robberies at gas stations, businesses? I mean, can you give us an idea of what might connect them?
I can tell you they were at gas stations. That's all I'm able to release right now.
And once again, a plea to people out there that are watching or what to look for. Is there anything you want to tell them?
Absolutely. We're sharing a photo of the suspects after this press conference and on our Waukesha Police Department Facebook page in hopes that a member of the public can assist us in identifying and apprehending the suspects. However, the public needs to remember, though, that these suspects are to be considered armed and dangerous. And contact Detective Benitez with information and do not approach the suspects.
Was the clerk closing up for the night? Is that right around when he was closing?
I do believe that this is around the closing time of that gas station.
And as the chief of police how does that, to have, this is from what the neighbors tell us, someplace they went all the time, very friendly. Somebody who's trying to run their business to have people come in, gun them down and kill them.
This is extremely unusual for the city of Waukesha. The city of Waukesha, by crime statistics and by observation, is a very safe city to live in. But no one is immune to violent criminals coming to their city or acting out within their city and creating violent crimes like this.
When suspects wear masks, what other, besides height and build, what other means do you guys have to kind of track these people down, especially when you don't know whether they left in the car, didn't leave in the car? How hard does this make your job now?
It does increase the difficulty of apprehending the suspects, but there are a lot of other ways to identify suspects. As you mentioned, this general height and weight of the person, the build, the clothing, the type of weapon, if we're able to identify a vehicle, eyes, different facial characteristics other than just their face. And we'll look at every single lead with our detectives and with other agencies in order to apprehend and bring these people to justice.
Was the victim the owner of the business or just an employee, do you know?
The victim was an employee of the gas station.
And because you guys believe this may be connected to some other ones, other armed gas station robberies, does that give you any indication of the trend of this crime? Obviously, it's not just happening here, but obviously happening in other areas in southeastern Wisconsin. Does that tell you something about the nature of this type of crime for this type of time of year?
Not necessarily for this time of year, but criminals are very mobile. They're not limited generally to the one city. Criminals do drive. Almost every crime is done with a vehicle that they get to and from this crime. So to drive from Waukesha to any other city in southeastern Wisconsin takes a very short period of time. And so they are mobile, and they will strike in different areas in different cities.
And this would be the first homicide for the city of Waukesha for this year?
Yes.
Do you guys have ballistic evidence? I mean, you said you identified a semi-automatic weapon. Is this because you saw this in some sort of video? Did they leave the weapon behind? Do you have a bullet you guys can analyze to connect to maybe other robberies?
We have not recovered the gun involved in this incident, but we do have evidence I'm not able to release right now that does indicate to us that it's a handgun.
Did any witnesses see, like, them take off last night, or when you talked to any witnesses? Or?
We're still looking into all witnesses or potential witnesses that could be to give us which way did they flee? Did they flee towards a vehicle? Was there a vehicle in the area? And to follow up on your question too, ma'am, is that you'll see in these release that we have that at the press conference that he was holding the handgun. This is the video.
Chief, you mentioned
Folks, I got copies of the actual press release right here for you.